Peace. Today is Wednesday the 15th, making today's math.
Knowledge, power, refinement, all being born to equality.
That's right. Use your knowledge, which is your power, and the power is that truth, and spread that knowledge to others. That is your equality. Peace to the gods and earths. Peace. Welcome back to the Yanadameen Godcast. Lord Jamar.
Digga.
I got my man, the resident researcher, Rage, over here. Doing his damn thing.
Shout
my
out
man,
to
Alex over
Alex
there.
on the 1 and 2s over
Come
there.
on, keeping the sound all crispy and shit. My man Harold behind the cameras and shit.
Yeah.
And on the editing, doing the damn thing. This is how we do over here.
I love Harold. He lets me win everything.
Yeah, right. It's all
They trying
good.
to say the editor is biased. He lets me win the debates.
It's all good. I'm gonna give y'all that now. As long as
I'm low key flashing them leg over
we get
here.
something real. I didn't even get to see that. We're gonna cut to that camera right now. Anyway, don't forget you got $100 up for doing the butt or some sort of twerk.
Shit.
That's
Oh
just
God,
saying.
I'm supposed to be twerking for $100.
It was
before
offered.
this show is over.
It was offered. I'm just saying. So
he gonna have to PayPal me that shit directly.
Hey, well, tell him you PayPal.
Hey,
hey, nigga, hey.
My Cash App is bars for bread. The
Okay.
number 4.
And I sent you that bread actually. Anyway, so this, I don't know, a week or so ago, there was a interview on The Breakfast Club with former, I guess, CEO of Def Jam and all of this, and current, he's YouTube worldwide or some shit. Lyor Cohen had a fucking interview on The Breakfast Club, okay, that a lot of fucking people are talking about. Did you get to see it?
Bits and pieces.
Bits and pieces. Okay. Well, I actually did the research for us.
Okay.
And I sat down and watched this episode. Now, in full disclosure, back in the day when Brand Nubian first got on, our first manager that we ever had was Rush. We got down with Russell Simmons. At that time, it was like, a fucking honor to even these motherfuckers to want to fuck with you. So when you get down with Rush at that time, you found out that Russell didn't do any of the day-to-day shit, that it was this white man, Lyor Cohen. So we ended up, you know what I mean? Fucking with Lyor. Like, Lyor was the dude. He was our manager, basically, at that time. Russell was the manager in name, but the one actually doing the work was Lyor. Then after a while, it became Chris Lighty. Rest in peace. But I say all this to say I know Lyor well. Okay? So yeah. So we see he does an interview with The Breakfast Club. And what are they talking about? They're talking about at one point they were talking about hang on. First of all, he's bragging in the interview about when he's at the golf course, right? Mm-hmm. He's there with doctors and lawyers, and they ask him, how do you get here? Would you make your money off of? And I tell him, sucka MCs.
Oh, wow.
I thought that was a little telling right there. We're just going to hold on to that for a second, though. But he's very proud that he made his money off of sucka MCs.
And was there a part of the interview where I guess they asked him about like signing people that are
this is what I was
promoting the drug use?
This is what I was about to get to.
Felons and things like
right.
that.
So they were saying, what do you go for? Talent or issues? Like basically they said if an artist has talent and he could sell records, but he has certain personal issues, or they might talk about some shit that you don't agree with, what do you go with? You know what I mean? Like, and basically he says, I go with the talent. You know, like, it doesn't matter what issues that they might have, like, or what they talk about, like. And at some point he's like, listen, I got a family to feed. I got employees I got to pay and all this type of shit.
Well, if I may clarify this.
Go ahead.
To avoid any of the naysay commentators. What he actually said was, if the artist has a particular, like, hindrance, he doesn't mess with them. Like, for instance, he says, lean is liquid heroin. So if they're on that, he would take issue about that.
He would just call them an addict. Not that he will not sign them, though. He'll still fucking sign them.
Right.
He'll still put them out. And if they rhyme about lean, he'll put that out.
Right.
But what he was trying to say was, I will call them a drug addict to their face.
Right.
Okay. But that's not going to stop you from putting a motherfucker out who's on lean.
Right.
He was there during DMX's fucking heyday.
Right, yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And yet, what did he do for DMX? Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, he might have said, oh, I tried to get him help and all of that, but what did he really do? You know what I mean? And he's also accused of, like, breaking up Roc-A-Fella and all of that, right? So when he's asked about that...
Dame's been calling him a culture vulture forever.
Listen, when he was asked about that, right? He's going to say, now this was very telling. He said, who's Dame Dash?
Yeah.
He said, I don't even know him.
Yeah,
He
he
said
could have
just
took
like
a
that.
higher road.
I don't even know him. Like, to me, that was the epitome
that was fucked up.
of a white man trying to rewrite history.
Damn.
As they always do. Let's just take a SAR and a set out the picture, and I'm going to give you Zeus and fucking Hera, one of these Greek goddesses and shit. We're just going to erase. Who's a SAR? That's what they say. Mm-hmm. Who the fuck is a SAR? Who's a set? That's what Plato and Socrates and all of these, plagiaristic motherfuckers did to our culture. Since they've come on the scene 6,000 or so years ago. And continue to do shit like this. So to say, who is Dame Dash, when Dame got pictures on his fucking Instagram of you in a fucking headlock.
Who's Dame Dash? You brought him up. I don't even know him. I don't even know him.
Care to revise your statement, sir?
What? Do you want to change your bullshit story, sir?
And you gonna act like you don't know this man when he made you plenty of money. Okay? Like, that was very telling. And now, it's funny, like...
Let me just, be devil's advocate. Mm-hmm. Was he doing that to say to them, like, I don't feel like it, to just avoid a whole Dame Dash conversation altogether? Because
yes,
we know he's being he's being sarcastic. We know
he
knows who
Dame
do you
see
is.
The deeper ramifications of that, of what I'm talking about, of how he was trying to do that,
trying to minimize, trying to diminish his
but at
capacity,
the same time, you're almost
role.
trying to just erase him from history. You're trying to erase this because at the end of the day, if the powers that be have their way, they'll just keep Jay-Z up there, and you'll never hear about Dame Dash again. Like there would be no Jay-Z without a Dame Dash.
And who's the
like?
You see, DeHaven is doing a documentary now. I guess about the the early Roc-A-Fella days. He's been very vocal about DeHaven.
Oh,
I heard.
He's been very vocal about his role. Basically, he's saying, he was the plug that,
Wait, is that you talking about Klein? Is that it?
No, DeHaven apparently is from like the street times.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, well,
right.
there's also Calvin Klein is one of the dudes from Red Hook that, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Was running with Jay-Z and he was the man at that time and all this type of shit. And he might even did some time, You know?
I mean, that's part of the street history, but no, it just made me think because he's been doing some. I think he has a Kickstarter now. He's doing a documentary, I guess, of the early stages of Roc-A-Fella. He's basically saying there wouldn't be a Roc-A-Fella without me. Like you can't even talk about Jay-Z or Dame Dash without talking about me. So
now listen. So now here's where. For me,
it's just a fun
for
fact.
me, the interview, here was the real kicker that like and I don't feel like a lot of people really peeped this, but when they pressed him more about, now you look, some people would say you're a culture vulture and all that.
I feel like shit.
He started saying some shit about, or with artists that have issues. He said, well, how about the time when Professor Griff went nuts and started talking about the Jewish people? And I had all these people telling me to fucking get rid of Public Enemy and all this type of shit. He said, I didn't do that. What did I do? I took Chuck D to the Holocaust Museum.
Yeah.
Damn, I need to see this.
Yeah.
So
I'm feeling like an 85er right now.
So-
I'm not born to born right now. I didn't see this.
that whole thing was so telling to me, and let me explain why. Now, out of all the things that go on in hip hop, right, that are talked about in hip hop, just like your man Eric B, this kind of ties in where he's talking about artists that talk about selling drugs and killing each other and, pimping sisters and all of this type of shit are basically, agents for this white insanity. I'm not going to call it white supremacy because there's no such thing. It's called white insanity, and we need to get in the habit of calling it that. Anyway, so there's plenty of that in rap, right? But for him, for this Jewish man, the time in rap when a motherfucker went nuts is when Professor Griff spoke on, the Jewish people, and whatever he was saying at the time was like basically common knowledge. Like he wasn't saying nothing crazy or nothing like, you know what I mean? Like this was shit that Farrakhan and everybody was saying at the time. But somehow some reporter reported Griff saying something about the Jews and jewelry and all this other shit. And basically that led to Public Enemy breaking up. Now, why that? Like out of all the shit that's negative against black people, why use that Jewish thing as an example of when something went awry in hip hop? Also, in Professor Griff's rebuttal, which I didn't fully see, but I was reported excerpts of it, he basically said, okay, well, if you were really trying to help, then why did you take Chuck to the fucking museum and not me? I'm the one that said it. Because you didn't really care about fucking trying to educate anybody. You were trying to divide and conquer. Peace to the gods from Charlotte. Keep telling the truth. That's right. Peace to all in. Yeah. So you weren't really trying to educate nothing. That was a divide and conquer move. And let me just say, upon reflection, I believe this guy had a hand in breaking up Brand Nubian early. Like there was a lot of people in Pooh Bah's ear at that time, and I bet you he was one of them. And you know what? People call him Lyor Cohen, right? Like Dame Dash has called him that. But you know who the first person I ever heard call him that?
Oh.
Charlie Brown from the Leaders of the New School. I remember back in the days, a long time ago, he was like, yo, fuck Lyor. He's a fucking liar. That's why his name is Lyor. And I was like, oh, yo, that's kind of deep. He was like, yo, he's a fucking liar. He da-da-da-da-da. I don't know what the fucking exactly the beef was at the time, but I remember he was calling him Lyor Cohen.
Eric B and Rakim.
Huh? Oh,
Yeah, Eric B and Rakim.
he might have got broke.
Nah, bro.
Yo. You see what I'm saying?
See what
If
I'm
we
saying?
look at it,
There's a
he
pattern.
might have been a pattern of divide and conquer with this guy across time in hip hop. Shit, if you even look now, shit, Run and DMC ain't really rocking like that. You know what I mean? Like some other shit going on. Yeah. I'm just oh. And as far as the culture vulture shit is concerned, like Dame is right. Like he says he'll put out these records like with artists that got issues and shit, right? Or artists that might say some shit he don't agree with. But how about if rappers came out and started like Holocaust bashing or like let's say there was a Jewish group that talked about killing Jews. Like, would you promote that? Would you sign that group as a Jewish man? Hell no, he wouldn't. Hell no, he wouldn't. Because when Griff said whatever benign thing he said about the Jews, you ran and took Chuck to the Holocaust Museum trying to, get some understanding,
But
supposedly.
that always happens. Like that's like the first. That's like blackball 101.
Like, where are the
Mel Gibson, right? When he they immediately tried to ostracize him from the film industry when he went on an anti-Semitic rant.
Just like Ice Cube said, you let a Jew break up my crew. No Vaseline. Like, where other than like in movies do you see like white people profiting from white on white violence? Like, it doesn't exist in music. It doesn't exist in their music. Like, when white boys rap, they don't rap about killing other white boys. They rap about dumb shit, drugs, partying, money. But they don't rap about, yo, I'll shoot that other cracker in his fucking face. And, you know what I mean? I'll leave that cracker 6 feet deep. You don't hear that type of shit. You don't hear that type of shit. Now, they might say some misogynistic shit, but it's not to the point how we be doing it. And all I'm saying is if there was some,
But remember,
some Hasidic Jew motherfuckers doing this, would Lyor be ready to put that out?
But just
And my answer is no.
Just remember, in terms of like hip hop and black people, like a lot of our hip hop origins was based on like hip hop, the rap portion of it. A lot of it was to squash borough beefs and things like that. The DJs bought
Right.
and
The breakdancing was a form of almost
so
fighting.
like the playing the dozen, the snapping on each other, the battle rapping, like that
was to stop the violence.
right. So but it came out in the music. So while you may necessarily be in a song, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna shoot you, when the camera say cut.
When did that actually start happening though? Because I'm going to tell you, in the early days of hip hop, in the early, I'm talking Cold Crush era, yeah, we was talking about cocaine and dust and shit like that, but motherfuckers wasn't really talking about gunplay. Nobody was talking about shooting each other. Motherfuckers was talking about going to the party and
fighting
riding.
back then. Like
right.
This is more the
but what
gun
I'm
era,
saying
'cause
is
niggas can't fight.
Niggas wasn't even rhyming about fighting. Niggas wasn't rhyming about shooting niggas and shit like that. Like, I'm trying to think, when did I first start hearing that?
Well, back then, I guess.
Historically, Schoolie D is considered the first hip hop gangster.
But did he talk about it?
Yeah, he did.
What did he say in the song that specifically like, yo, I'll shoot that motherfucker, or niggas get popped on my block? Like, who's the first one to really say that? We're gonna have to take a forensic look at that, because seriously,
A forensic look.
yeah, because I'm telling you, if you really look at early hip hop, motherfuckers wasn't talking about even stabbing people.
I just looked to the left and saw NWA.
I'm gonna say it was before that.
It was definitely before NWA.
Sorry, I almost want to say BDP.
Well, this guy,
Hey.
he mentioned PSK stands for Parkside Killers.
I know what it stands for, but they didn't say Parkside Killers on the song.
Right.
They just said PSK is making that dream. They didn't say Parkside Killers. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But only when we got to Criminal Minded, that's when it kind of got blatant. If I keep it real,
it got blatant, but he was still preaching the gospel.
Absolutely.
I think what happened
hold
was.
up. KRS has been all over the place in his thought pattern.
I know.
We can talk about that
but
too.
I just think over time, as like this society itself started removing like morals and religion, like it became less about preaching the gospel and more, they'll fuck you up, but had a message. Like NWA, fuck the police, shoot you, kill you, but had a message.
They wasn't the first ones to do it though. They just made it really popular.
But over time, the message got removed from the music, and then it just became I'll fuck you up, I'll fuck you up,
Criminal
I'll kill
Minded
you.
was a narrative. It was a
I wanna actually, we need to look into that because I think that's kind of interesting. So yeah, actually I think that is a good. So in this whole rebuttal about gangster music and all this type of shit, and are you an agent of white supremacy? Fat Joe had said, listen, music is music. I think I want to talk a little bit about that when we come back. And just go a little, actually state exactly what Eric Benet said before we get even deeper. But it kind of melted into what we were just talking about. That's why we're talking about it now. But let's get into that when we come back. Peace. It's the absence of all confusion. United we stand, divided we fall. 2 fingers together is the real peace sign, y'all. Brand Nubian peace gear. Hoodies. T-shirts. Snapbacks. Available at hoodg.com. Get yours today.